You get a call from your rich, highly respected friend. He wants you to come to Washington, D.C. and give a nice little lecture to some intellectual gentlemen in tailored robes, aka the Freemasons. You're like, sure, I've got nothing better to do with my tweed jacket and loafers. You pack your bags, hop on a plane, and land at the U.S. Capitol, only to be welcomed not by your old friend, but by his severed hand. That's right, a hand, just there, pointing towards something mysterious and ancient. Welcome to the Tuesday evening of Robert Langdon. Robert Langdon, Harvard professor of symbology and human magnet for strange events, is back again. This time, he's been lured to Washington, D.C. by a man pretending to be Peter Solomon's assistant. Peter, a 33rd-degree Mason and Langdon's dear friend, is a highly respected man with access to powerful secrets. And unfortunately, now he's also a hostage. The supposed assistant sends Langdon the Hand of Mysteries, literally Peter's severed tattooed hand, setting into motion a wild goose chase through Masonic symbols, ancient codes, and historical landmarks across Washington, D.C. You'd think after Vatican bombs and Jesus' bloodline, Langdon would ask for hazard pay. Enter the villain Malak. This guy is like if Voldemort and a tattoo parlor had a baby. Covered head to toe in ink, shaved bald, and more dramatic than a Shakespearean ghost, Malak is on a spiritual mission to stop enlightenment. Yes, you heard that right. While the rest of us are trying to keep the lights on and pay rent, this guy wants to block enlightenment from humanity. And he believes the key to doing that lies in the secrets of the Freemasons and a hidden pyramid said to contain a lost word that unlocks divine knowledge. His plan? Find the lost word, tattoo it on the one remaining blank patch of his head, and become a godlike being. And maybe, just maybe, get a good skincare routine while he's at it. Now, Peter's sister, Katherine Solomon, is no ordinary side character. She's a leading researcher in Noetic science, the study of the power of human thought. She's been getting strange results lately, like discovering that thoughts can influence matter. Basically, she's doing quantum physics with a spiritual twist. Katherine, like any good scientist, agrees to meet a man named Dr. Abaddon, who claims to be Peter's personal physician. They schedule an appointment at her lab, but plot twist. Dr. Abaddon is actually Malak in disguise. He's used makeup and costumes to hide his tattoos and gain her trust. Things go downhill fast from there. And then the plot tightens like a Masonic cipher. Enter Inoue Sato, the CIA's tough-as-nails director of the Office of Security. She's not here to make friends. She's here to make sure America doesn't fall apart because of what Langdon and company might uncover. Also on the chessboard, Warren Bellamy, the architect of the Capitol, and a fellow Mason who ends up aiding Langdon. You know it's serious when the guy who literally designs buildings has to start running around inside them. All of this happens in 12 hours, a ticking clock, an ancient mystery. A villain straight out of a Dan Brown fever dream. Now here's a chilling moment from the novel. In total darkness, trapped inside a conveyor tunnel, Katherine has this realization.
He knew private things about my brother, my mother's death, and even my work. Things he could only have learned from my brother, and so I trusted him. And that's how he got inside the Smithsonian Museum Center.
That quote perfectly captures how psychological manipulation sits at the core of this story. Malak doesn't just out-muscle people, he outthinks and outplays them. The book reads fast for a 639-page thriller. The short chapters act like potato chips. You keep telling yourself, just one more, until you're 400 pages deep and haven't slept. Everything unfolds in one night, which really helps tighten the narrative and maintain suspense. Of course, in true Dan Brown fashion, there's a lot of info. You'll learn about dual Pratt and Whitney engines powering a Falcon 2000EX, even though that doesn't really move the story forward. But hey, if you wanted to learn about obscure aviation trivia mid-chase scene, Dan's your guy. Now let's talk about the italicized thoughts. Oh, the italics. Every other page has characters' internal monologues screaming at you. And while this might help with drama, it also slows the rhythm and sometimes comes off a bit too much, like the novel's trying to do the thinking for you. Also, I expected Langdon to have grown a little since Angels and Demons and the Da Vinci Code. But no, He still enters the story like a wide-eyed saint and only starts grasping the scale of the problem halfway through. A little more Jack Bauer energy from him wouldn't have hurt. So what's the name of this wild, symbol-laden, tattoo-obsessed adventure? It's The Lost Symbol by Dan Brown. Yes, this is the third book in the Robert Langdon series, and it somehow manages to be just as bonkers, intriguing, and fast-paced as its predecessors. What I enjoyed most? The information. The way Dan Brown takes mundane objects or overlooked monuments and reveals hidden meanings. For instance, the Latin Laus Deo inscribed on the aluminum capstone of the Washington Monument, or the apotheosis of Washington painted in the Capitol dome. These elements become central pieces of the mystery. Brown excels at making innocent things bear secrets. You'll be Googling as you read, I promise. If you're looking for philosophical or theological themes, there's plenty here too. The tension between light and darkness, knowledge versus ignorance, science versus belief, they're all simmering beneath the tattoos and codes. So here's the thing. If you read Dan Brown for flawless prose, deep character arcs, or literary finesse, you may be disappointed. The sentences aren't beautiful, and the structure sometimes creaks under the weight of all that research. But if you read Dan Brown for the thrill, the knowledge, the symbols, and the joy of following breadcrumbs through real-world landmarks, then he absolutely delivers. Again. And I have to give Brown credit for one more thing: interactivity. The book's cover itself contains 5 coded messages left for the readers to solve. Of course, reading it years after publication means most of them have already been cracked and shared online. But still, a nice touch. Dan Brown, in case you're new to this genre, is the author of bestsellers like The Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, and Inferno. A former English teacher and songwriter, he combines historical references, religious symbols, cryptography, and rapid-fire pacing in his novels. His books are often polarizing. Critics point out the clunky dialogue and Wikipedia-level info dumps, while fans celebrate the puzzles, tension, and immersive research. Love him or not, Brown has carved a niche that no one else quite fills. So, The Lost Symbol. It's fast, it's dense, it's tattooed, it has secret pyramids, CIA chases, severed hands, and a villain who really needs therapy and sunscreen. Is it perfect? No. Is it fun? Absolutely. If that sounds like your kind of Tuesday night, grab the book and get decoding. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe for more book reviews like this, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Have you read The Lost Symbol? What did you think of Malak? Did the twist catch you off guard? Until next time, stay curious. And maybe don't trust any mysterious doctors named Abaddon. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you're interested in diving deeper into this book, I've left some links down in the description. You can use it to grab yourself a copy and keep the adventure going. And if you're in the mood for more great reads, don't go just yet. Click on one of the videos popping up right now that I think you'll love. And don't forget to give this review a like, leave a comment, or even subscribe if you'd like to see more. Every bit of support helps us grow this little community of book lovers. See you in the next one.